Welcome to the Word of Truth. This is Teacher D.H. Bowen. Today's message is called, Are You Ready to Stand in Front of God? What if you had to stand in front of God right now and God asked you and questioned you, what have you done with the abilities, with the talent, with the gifts that He have blessed you with? What would you be ready to tell Him today if He came? You know how like in high school or even college you have a pop quiz? What if you get a pop stand in front of God? You know what I'm saying? What if just God just popped up and just say, hello, so-and-so, how are you today? I'm God. I want to ask you a question. What have you been doing? God already know what we've done with the things that He's blessed us with. But God wants us to say out of our own mouth, what have we done? Now, I want to tell you about a parable that Jesus told. It's in Matthew 25. And it's about a man, he was going away. So he trusted his servants with his talents. And back then, talents was called shekels. It was a monetary value. It's either paper money or it was coins. So back then, he gave the first servant, he gave him 5 talents, and he said, and then he gave the second one 2 talents, and he gave the third one 1 talent. So they were supposed to go and double it, or they were supposed to invest it, and they were supposed to make it grow. Okay? So keep that in mind. See, whatever God bless us with, we're not supposed to keep it for ourselves. We're not supposed to hide it. We are supposed to make sure we use it and we benefit it and we make it grow. Just like in the beginning, God told Adam and Eve, be fruitful and multiply. People think that it is all about sex and having kids, be fruitful and multiply. But if you think about the fruits of the Spirit, is love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, gentleness, faith, and self-control. God wants us to use the fruits of the Spirit and use what He have blessed us with. He wants us to be fruitful. He wants us to multiply it, whereas we sow into other people's lives. We sow His talents. We just don't keep it to ourselves and just use it for ourselves. But what are you doing with the talents and abilities that God have blessed you with? Are you using them to help other people? Are you using them wisely? Because God have given us things and He entrusted us with the abilities and the things that He blessed us with. Even if God blessed us with finances, He want to make sure, are we using them wisely? Are we sharing them? Are we investing in other people? Or are we just keeping it to ourselves? What are the abilities? Just like some people have ability to work on cars. Are you using your ability to help someone out? Are you being fruitful? Are you multiplying your talents by helping other people? Are you using the money that God bless you with? Are you sowing into His kingdom? Are you sowing into other people's life? Or are you just thinking about yourself? He says, like, some people are nurses and doctors. God say, are you using your ability just to get your check? Or are you using your ability, someone at home that's sick, that you're going to help them without, charging them anything? You know what I'm saying? God want to know, what are you doing with the things that He blessed you with? Are you hiding them? Are you using them? Are you multiplying them? Are you being fruitful and multiplying? Are you sowing them so you could get more? What are you doing? So you have to ask yourself, if God came today, if you had to stand in front of Him and give account of what you have done with the things that He blessed you with, what are you ready to say? Well, let me tell you about these servants. The first servant said, Lord, Master, this is what I have done. I went and I doubled. I got you 5 more talents. So he ended up having 10. And so the next one said, okay, likewise, what you gave me 2 and I doubled it. Now I have 4. But the last one, he said, Master, I know that you a man, that you reap where you don't sow, and you receive where you haven't sown no seed. So he know that this man did not have to go out and do, this master did not have to go and do no work. So he hid it in the earth. He didn't multiply it. He didn't use it to try to help nobody. He didn't use it to try to gain interest. He didn't use it to try to double it. But what he did was he hid it in the earth. So he said, well, you slothful man, you knew that I reaped where I didn't sow. So instead of going and working and multiplying and helping someone and doubling the money and being a good stewardess of what I had given you, you instead worried about what I'm receiving, instead of doing your job, what you're supposed to do, And So he took what he had and gave it to the one who had the most. And some people say, well, how is you going to take this little I have and give it to the one who have the most? Why you wouldn't give it to the one who have, the one who had 2 talents and had 4? See, he gave it to each one's ability. He knew that the one with the 5 talents, that he was going to double it, and see, God bless you based on your heart, what's inside, what he know that you will do with it, and see, it's a lot of times people get upset at other people because people look at them and say, hey, you know what, they already got something and God blessing them more and more and more. Why is that? Because they are being good stewards over God's what God blessed them with. Like I said, back in the day, talents back then was called shekels, and it was either paper money or either it was coins. You know what I'm saying? So you know what, you have to ask yourself, what are you doing with the abilities that God have blessed you with? Are you using them or are you wasting them? It's a lot of time God bless people with good talents and they don't use them. God bless people with an education and then they don't use that. God bless people with homes and they don't pay their bills, they don't take care of it. God bless people with a husband or a wife and they abuse their husband or their wife. They cheat on them. What are you doing with the gifts and the talents that God have given you? Are you using them? What are you doing with the jobs that God have given you? Are you going to work each and every day and being happy that you have a job? Or what are you doing? Are you complaining at every sign, at every chance that you get, or are you being happy? Are you going in there and sow? Are you going in there and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to work this job like I'm working it for the Lord? So God say, whatever you do, do it like you're doing it unto the Lord. And see, and that's what the one with the 5 talents did. He said, you know what, I got 5, but I'm going to double this. I'm going to get 5 more. So he ended up having 10. And so the second one said, okay, I have 2, but I'm going to double that too. And so the master said to both of them, he said, well done, good and faithful servant. Take joy in me. You know what I'm saying? He was happy with both of them, But this last one that said, you know what, I was afraid, so I hid it, because I hid it in the earth, because I know that you reap where you don't sow. And a lot of people get jealous of other people because they reap at places where they don't sow. See, you can't be jealous and envious of nobody else because of how they being blessed and the favor that they have on their life. God gives certain people favor is because he know their heart and he know what they do with the gifts that he blessed them with the abilities. They just don't use it for themselves. With their jobs, they're happy with it. When God give them money, they look at ways to help other people, But some people, they just want to keep all their money to themselves. They don't want to think about sowing it into God's kingdom, or they don't want to think about sowing into somebody else's life. Look for opportunities to help other people. God said, I want you to be fruitful and multiply. That's how you be fruitful and multiply, when you sow into other people's life. When you help others, it's like sowing a seed. And you know what? And that's being fruitful. That's sowing seed and that's multiplying. You're going to get more of a harvest back. But God say, if you're afraid to sow, then you're not going to end up with nothing. And see, that poor man was going to end up in darkness, and that's why God said, that's why God said that, hey, if you sow, you shall receive what you sow. You know what I'm saying? And see, a lot of times people wondering why I'm not accomplishing nothing, why I'm not getting nothing, why I'm in this rut, why I'm not getting blessed. If God was to come right now and ask you, what have you done with the things that he blessed you with? What have you done with the gifts that he blessed you with? What have you done with the finances he blessed you with? What have you done with the job that he blessed you with the house, with the car? See, you have to take care of the things that God blessed you with, But see, if you take what God given you and you keep it to yourself and you hold it so tight and you don't sow it, God don't like that. God said, you in darkness. You're being selfish. You're thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about, being good stewards over the things that God blessed you with. God say, be fruitful and multiply. Use your talents. Use your love. You know what I'm saying? To plant love in somebody else's life. Use your joy to call somebody and Be joyous over the phone to spread that. You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever your goodness, your kindness, you know what? Use that, your patience. Be patient. When you patient with someone else, you showing patience. Patientness, you know what I'm saying? See, everything that you do, all the fruits of the Spirit, if you sow into somebody else's life, you know, you sowing a seed and you're going to get a harvest back. So don't be stingy with your love. Don't be stingy with your happiness. Don't be stingy with your goodness, your kindness, you know, your self-control, your love, your faith. Don't be stingy with it, because when you stingy with it, you ain't doing nothing but hurting yourself. Just like the one with one talent, he didn't try to go out there and double. He didn't try to sow. He didn't try to be fruitful and multiply. You know what he did? He was afraid and he hid it, you know, thinking that he could hide it from the Lord. But he didn't realize that the man was going to come back one day, in which he did. He had to get account of what he did with those talents that the master blessed him with. And that's what you have to realize. If God came right now, what would you say to him? How would you tell him? How would you explain to him how you use the talents that he have given you, the abilities, the job that he blessed you with, the spouse that he blessed you with, the siblings that he blessed you with, the car that he blessed you with, you know, the project that he blessed you with. You know what I'm saying? You have to look over your life and you have to say, you know, like some people, they have a house. The house ain't big enough. So since it ain't big enough for them, they don't want to take care of it. They don't want to do the necessary things out of their house, with their house, to improve it, to make the necessary changes. You know, like some people need roofs. Some people need their house painted. Some people need, siding. Some people just need some TLC, you know. But some people don't want to do that because they say, hey, this house ain't big enough. I want a big enough house, so I'm not going to take care of this house. God say, you're not going to get a big enough house because you're going to take care of this one. God say, put your elbow grease in this. Sow some love into this house. Make this house presentable. Make this house lovely, and I will bless you with more. But God said, how do you expect me to bless you with a bigger house and you won't take care of this? And there's some people with cars. It might not be a real attractive car and a nice looking car like some of their friends or some of their neighbors, but God say, hey, take care of this car, put some work in this car, and then I will bless you with another car. Isn't this even with a job? Some people say, well, I got a job, but I'm not getting paid enough, and they always complaining. God say, you're not using that job like I'm your boss and you're working for me. You're not doing it like you're doing it into the Lord when you go to work each and every day. You're half doing something. You're complaining about it. You complain about getting up each and every day and going to work. God said, how do you expect me to bless you with a better job, and then you won't sow this job? You won't go in there and do your best. You won't go in there with a good attitude. You won't go above and beyond the call of duty at this job. So how do you bless me to trust you with more? You know, and so that's what this man has said, this master has said to the two servants, the one with the 5 talents, the one with two talents and doubled it. He said, well done, good and faithful servant. I have trusted you with little, so and you multiplied it, and you was fruitful and multiplied, so I must trust you with more. Be joyous in my company, you know. But the other one with the 1 talent, the one who hid it in the earth, he was going to be in darkness, and he was going to be gnashing of the teeth, you know. And that's sad when you have something and then you don't take care of it. God say, take care of it. Take care of the clothes. If you have 1 pair of shoes, don't complain about just having 1 pair of shoes. God say, you better make sure you keep those 1 pair of shoes clean. God say, if you have a husband or a wife, God said, you take care of that husband and your wife, and you sow into each other's life, and then y'all love is going to multiply among each other. God say, friends, if you're not taking care of the friends that you have and you cherish them, how do you expect me to send better friends if you're not taking care of the ones you have? It's even siblings. Siblings don't like to take care of each other. You know, they like to point fingers. They like to judge. They like to talk about it. They like to put people down. God say, that ain't how you draw your siblings closer to you, because there is a friend that sticks closer to a brother. That's why Abraham was called a friend of God because he was willing to sow his son. He was willing to give up his son's life because God told him to. He trusted him. He used his faith and he sowed his faith, and his faith multiplied. And God he was called a friend of God. And God took him to a high mountain. He said, far as you could see, I'll give it to you. And you know what that means? Far as you see that I will do for you, far as you believe, I will give it to you. So you have to ask yourself, if God came right now, what would you tell him that you're doing with the abilities and the talents and the gifts that he's blessed you with? Are you being fruitful and multiplying them, or are you hiding them in the earth? Are you being stingy because you're afraid that you're going to lose this one talent? God say, have faith, have faith and trust in him. Because see, you have to look over your life, and you have to look at things that you wasted, that you wasn't good stewards just over, that you didn't pay attention to, that you wasn't fruitful and multiply, that you didn't value it. I don't care whatever God bless you with, whatever talent, physical talent or ability that he bless you with, any gift that he bless you with, any monetary thing that he bless you with, you have to take care of it. You have to be fruitful and multiply. You have to be ready. So if God came right now and gave you a pop stand, like a pop quiz, if he just popped up and you had to stand right before him and he asked you, what have you done with the talents thus far that he blessed you with the gifts, with the calling, with everything, with anything that he have on your life? I don't care whether he called you to be a nurse, called you to be a doctor, a sanitation worker, a janitor, a cashier, a gas attendant, a postal worker, auto worker, a lawyer, a construction worker. Whatever he called you to be, a manager, or, work at a shoe store, whatever, what God called you to be, are you going to work happy? Are you sowing? Are you giving the best? Are you going above the call of duty? Are you doing it like you're doing it to him, or you act like you're doing it to a physical boss? God say, whatever you do it like you're doing it unto me. You want God to say, well done, good and faithful servant. You want God to say, I trust you over this little, so I'm going to trust you over much. I'm going to double it. I'm going to bless you, because you wasn't thinking about yourself. You wasn't being selfish. See, that one with that one talent, he was thinking about himself. He was being selfish. He was saying, okay, if I do this, if I go and sow this, I know he gonna sow where he, I know he gonna reap where he don't sow. So I'm gonna hide this in the earth. I'm gonna hide this for me. I'm gonna keep this on the side for me. I'm not gonna do nothing to bring more to him. See, God want us to realize that, see, all this stuff that we accumulate on the earth, we can't take it with us. And now is the time not to be envious of no one else, because if you see someone being blessed and being favored, you don't know what they done to get that. God say that they've been good stewards just over the things that he already blessed them with. And this, like, God bless people with a talent, and you know what, then they waste their talent. They don't use their full potential that they can. And then when the opportunity is gone and the opportunity is not gone, not there anymore, then people want to cry, they want to be sad, they want to be depressed. But God say, you come to me, you repent, and you tell me that you have not did the things that you're supposed to do. You have to be honest with him. But see, now you have to realize that God may pop up anytime, and he may ask you, what are you doing? He already know what you're doing, but you have to make sure, if he come today, or if he come tomorrow, if he come next week, if he come next month, if he come next year, and give you a pop stand in front of him, and you have to stand in front of him and give account of what you did, you have to make sure and say, Lord, yes, the things that you have given me, I was fruitful and multiplied. I used them to bless people. I used them to help people. I gave them my all. I put in 120% in what everything that you blessed me with. I didn't complain about my home. I made sure that I fixed up my home. I don't care how small it was, Father, but I was glad that you gave it to me. I was fruitful and I multiplied it. I made sure I fixed it up, and I made it look worth double than what it is, Lord. In the car, yes, Lord, I fixed up my car, yes, Lord, and it might not been a brand new car, but Lord, it was mine, and you blessed me with it. I was fruitful and I multiplied it. I put work in it, and Lord, and I used it to help other people. And Lord, the money that you blessed me with, yes, Lord, I used it to sow into your kingdom and into other people's life. And Lord, yes, the things, the abilities that you did, like working on cars, like being a handyman around the house, the abilities, you know, even the encouragement, you know, the spiritual abilities that you've given me. I use them to help other people, to encourage people, to lift them up, Lord. I use the talents, abilities, and gifts to help other people and to sow into your kingdom and into other people's life. So, Lord, I took what you gave me and I sold it. Yes, I was fruitful and multiplied it. You know, so you want God to say, well done, good and faithful servant. So now it's the time you're going to have to get your life together. Now it's the time you're going to have to take what God did and what he given you and you're going to have to use it to your full potential. You're going to have to be fruitful and multiply. You're going to have to cherish this. You have to stop complaining, but be the best that you could be and use it to the full potential. And you have to show God that, hey, I'm going to take care of what you have given me and I'm going to be fruitful and multiply. I'm going to sow it. I'm going to get double. And if I could get triple, Father, I want you to be proud of me because I know I'm doing it for you and I can't be selfish. I can't do it for myself. So I pray that you enjoyed this message. And remember, if you had to stand in front of God today and give account of what you have done with the things he has blessed you with, what can you say that you have done? Until next time, may the peace of God be with you. Peace.